You're watching iPower Channel 2, One Nation under Urban Music.
We've had salt spreaders out on the road since 4 a.m. There are 693 salt spreaders out. Plows went out at 7:45 a.m. when there was enough accumulation for them to be able to do their work. There's now 1,500 plows out, and this includes the smaller plows that we added into the fleet in the last year to be able to work the smaller streets in many parts of the city, including in areas like Corona, Queens, where I was, and I saw those smaller plows in action. They're really doing great work, and they're reaching a lot of places that were unreachable in the past, so I think this is going to help a lot. You're not going to see pavement on the roads in the short term. The intensity of the storm is too great right now. There's too much snow coming down to expect to see blacktop right away. And we've got really tough conditions, too, in terms of the impact of the salt. When it's this cold, the salt doesn't have as much effect. We expect these very low temperatures to continue. So I want all New Yorkers to have a little bit of patience with the fact that despite the great work of sanitation, it's going to be a while before you see the blacktop in some parts of the city. In terms of other precautions we're taking, Code Blue is in effect and will be around the clock because of the extremely cold temperatures. So we'll be looking to make sure anyone out on the street is safe. Also, some updates on transportation. We are suspending New York City ferry service at noon today. Our expectation is that it will be up and running for the morning commute on all lines, but it will be suspended on all lines as of noon today. Staten Island ferry service is running as normal. It's on the midday schedule now. We expect that to continue at this point. And as you know, MTA service is all running. Also, in terms of transportation, both LaGuardia and JFK do not have flights going in or out at this point. Want to emphasize to everyone, these are very, very dangerous conditions. So this is where New Yorkers have choices to make, and I want people to make the smart choices. Stay inside if you can. If you do not need to be on the roads, don't be on the roads. That's both for your own safety and to allow the sanitation workers to do their work so they can clear the roads for everyone else's safety. If you go out for as little time as possible. If you have to walk somewhere, bundle up, take precautions because it's bitterly cold, and with the wind, it's even worse. Driving conditions are going to be tough today. They'll certainly be tough for the next few days because we don't expect to see a lot of melting. So there will be a lot of ice out there, and again, the high winds will continue certainly throughout today and into tomorrow. We're talking about gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. So whether you're driving, whether you're walking, tough conditions. Stay inside to the maximum extent possible. Don't go outside if you don't need to. Use mass transit if at all possible. We expect a tough evening commute. So again, if you can take mass transit, that's better. If you have to use your car to come back home in the evening, leave time, go slow, take it slow, because these are really treacherous conditions. Looking ahead, we, at this moment, expect school to be open tomorrow, Friday. We'll have updates later in the day, but given that the storm is expected to abate in the next few hours, essentially, we do expect school to be open. And an update on alternate side parking. It will be canceled both. It's canceled today, of course. It'll be canceled both tomorrow and Saturday. So again, if you can leave your car and not have to move it around, please leave it in place. So we expect tough conditions for days to come, particularly in terms of the cold. This is a very sobering reality. It's really going to be cold all the way through Sunday. National Weather Service told me that on Friday and Saturday night, when you take the temperature and then the wind chill, we expect the temperature outside to feel like -20. So National Weather Service is projecting a temperature of give or take 0 and then still strong winds, the impact being a negative 20 wind chill. That's something to take very, very seriously. Anyone who does not have hot water or heat in their building needs to call 311 right away. I want to remind people of this. If your building management is not responding to the situation immediately, you got to call 311. We will either make sure the building management fixes the problem, or we will send city personnel to restore the heat and hot water, and we will charge the building management for it. But either way, we have got to get everyone's heat and hot water up and running. We can only do that if you report to us if there's a problem. Also want to remind people, when it's this cold, sometimes people try to find informal means to stay warm. That can be dangerous. Be careful with extension cords, with heaters, or leaving an oven door open, or using candles. Anything like that can be a danger. Please take precautions. Most importantly, again, if you're having a fundamental heating problem, let the city know so we can act on it. If you see anyone in danger on the street, anyone who's homeless or in other distress and needs help, you can call 311. If it's not an immediate emergency, if it looks like a life and death situation, of course, call 911. We're going to keep you updated. There will be more news in the course of the day, but the most important thing is stay indoors, take precautions, look out for your fellow New Yorkers. Just a few words in Spanish. Estamos ante una severa y muy peligrosa tormenta de nieve. Estamos tomando todas las medidas de seguridad necesarias y pedimos a todos que hagan lo mismo. Quédense en sus casas, usen transporte público si tienen que salir y cuiden a los vecinos que necesitan ayuda. Look out for your neighbors. Check in on any neighbors that may need help, particularly folks who are older or have any sicknesses. Let's look out for each other. With that, I want to turn to a couple of my colleagues in the administration to speak. I also want to give a special thank you to our new Deputy Mayor for Operations, Laura Anglin, who just a few days on the job now is coordinating this overall response to the storm. I want to thank her for her great efforts. Now my pleasure to introduce our Commissioner for Emergency Management, Joe Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city's Emergency Operations Center has been activated since last night with a dozen of our agency partners working on the response to this storm, and the center will stay open until the storm is over, probably right through the weekend. We've been hosting daily interagency conference calls with the city, state agencies, and public and private partners to coordinate preparation and response to this storm. We're in constant communication with the National Weather Service to provide forecast updates. We just hung up with them about a few minutes ago. We placed several task forces on standby, including our tow truck task force and our down tree task force. We think with these winds, we may be activating both those task forces. We have more than 140 tow trucks available throughout the city to help clear stuck vehicles off the roadway. But we do encourage people to try and stay off the roadways as much as possible. There are some restrictions. Of Verrazano has banned trucks at this point. We also have emergency management personnel and City Hall folks deployed across the 5 boroughs to help provide information about conditions throughout the city to coordinate our efforts. We are going, if you're going to go out to shovel, please use common sense. If you have any medical condition, get the local kids to shovel for you. Don't do it yourself. But it's important to shovel as soon as you can once the snow does stop, because with this cold weather, as the mayor indicated, it can be around 0 for the next few days. If you don't shovel, it'll be a sheet of ice in front of your house, and that's going to create dangerous conditions. So try and get out there if you possibly can. But again, consider hiring some local kids to do it. So I find that's always the best way. For information and updates related to the weather and travel conditions, sign up for Notify NYC is the best way to get up-to-date information. It's free. It's the city's free emergency notification system, or you can call 311, and you could sign up for Notify NYC through calling 311. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. And now our Sanitation Commissioner, Catherine Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the mayor said, we have had all of our employees on split shifts since last night at 7 p.m. We currently have over 2,400 plows, spreaders. We've started to roll out some of our front-end loaders. We have been added to our capacity from DOT, DEP, and the Parks Department. I want to thank them. And again, as the mayor said, we do not anticipate, given these very, very cold temperatures, that we are going to see blacktop. We are operating aggressively across all 5 boroughs. We have completed passes on nearly every street since the start of shift change this morning when plowing began. But because we are going to get very little traction out of the salt, we do not anticipate seeing blacktop. In addition, I really do encourage people to stay off the roads. One of the biggest challenges that we've had this morning so far is people who have gotten into accidents and impeded our ability to move forward. We've had a lot of assistance from PD helping us keep all of our spreaders and plows moving. But right at this moment, we are anticipating that we could be seeing 3 inches of snow an hour over the next few minutes. So we anticipate that will continue to impede our operations in terms of the fact that they are driving in basically whiteout blizzard conditions. But we will stay in split shifts until we are through this, and we anticipate we will have to work through icy conditions tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. All right, ready to take your questions about this emergency and the city's response back there.
Mayor, how many accidents have you guys seen this morning, and any reports of injuries or slips and falls? Do you have any of those numbers?
Okay, between fire, PD, you got it, Terry?
They're actually down in accidents, 86 vehicle accidents so far today, all minor, basically bumper-to-bumper sort of accidents, down from 135 at the same point last year.